This is Volusia Today, a public information radio program brought to you by the County of Volusia.
Good morning, Volusia County. My name is Michael Ryan, and you are listening to Volusia Today, Volusia County's best and only trusted source for local news.
Beautiful.
Maggie, was that decent?
Yeah, that was lovely.
I'm like simplifying it every time. I think I was getting too complicated. Anyway, good morning and thank you for listening. We are your Volusia County Community Information Team, and we are here today to lead you into the weekend with a little bit of local news and get you ready for a good holiday weekend. No, it's not a holiday anymore. That was last weekend, right? That was. You know what? Honestly, I was reading my tip sheet and I was reading bees and honey. And we spent last weekend in Savannah and went to the Savannah honey stores, honeybee stores. Have you ever been? Mm-hmm. Super cool. Like I had no idea that there was that much you could do with honey. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, you can whip it and do other things and make beeswax stuff. And
yes.
I guess that's wax, not the honey, but...
So is that what you're going to do that this weekend? You're going to whip your honey and make some beeswax?
Whipped honey is like a thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's like a huge thing.
Do you believe in local honey?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah, you probably do.
It's delicious.
Yeah,
it's delicious.
Yeah. Tree hugger Maggie over here is like, oh, yeah, you probably have bees, don't you?
No, I want bees. We had this conversation on the radio last week. I want some bees. I think it'd be really cool. But no, I don't have any bees, but I would like them. So if anyone's selling bees, let me know.
We were standing in that bee store in Savannah, and like I had no idea how much honey I actually needed till I saw it all. I was like, I need that, and I need this, and I need this, and different. We went to like the honey tasting bar, and they actually tasted different. I didn't think they were going to. It was crazy. Anyway, bees leads us into Maggie. You want to talk a little bit today about a beginner beekeeping class?
Yes, UF-IFAS is holding a beginner beekeeping class this Saturday. I'm really sad I can't go, obviously, because I really love the bees, but it's gonna be really cool. You can learn everything about raising bees and how to care for them, the biology behind bees and how to make honey with them, like how you harvest that and care for them, which is really cool. So if you're interested in that, it's this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and lunch is provided, which is really nice. So if you're interested, make sure to check it out. But they have all sorts of stuff going on at the UF-IFAS Center. They have a pasture management school coming up on April 22nd and 23rd from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's a 2-day school where you can go and learn about the livestock raising here in Florida. And it's made specifically with those livestock in mind. So it's made for the people who want to raise livestock or who are already raising livestock, as an opportunity for them to kind of get in contact with others and just kind of learn the different things that are changing within the industry, which is really cool. And then they have Annie's Project, which I think I talked about this a couple weeks ago. It's super cool. It is for women in agriculture specifically, and it's a 6-week course. So it's a time for women to go and get together. You can network, you can learn all about finances, what it looks like to be a woman in agriculture, and how you can use that to like utilize your own space. And it's super cool. There's a $60 fee for the full course, but it's definitely worth it for a 6-week course. So I would highly recommend checking it out.
Heather, you have a pasture, don't you? At the new house, the new compound?
I wish we had a pasture. I mean, we have some space. I'm not going to say never, but definitely not right now.
You don't want some cows?
I've got to take care of a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. That's enough farm management for me.
Well, I was just thinking, I feel like I have a whole herd up in my house, and some livestock management skills would not be a bad thing.
We've tapped into some plants. That's as far as we're going. And we have a dog, so maybe eventually we'll dabble in like a chicken or two.
There you go.
Maybe some bees.
You know, chickens are just gateways to like cows. You know that, right? You get a couple chickens.
Basically, we actually had a bat land on our porch the other day.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So I woke up and there was a bat on the ground.
Did you pet it?
That's terrifying.
Absolutely did not. Well, and the funny thing about bats is they are really good for your insect control. So maybe we'll get a bat house, but put it kind of in the corner of our property. But I don't know if that counts as like farming. I don't think so.
Wait, you can have a bat house?
Yeah, so you can like build a bat house. You usually attach them to like trees, and they'll kind of use it as their home base. And then they eat insects.
Like a birdhouse.
What kind of naturalist tree hugger are you? You don't know about bat house.
I'm a little scared of bats. I don't want bats on my property.
You don't want bats in your house.
No.
But, if I put them in the corner, they can help, control mosquitoes, maybe a little bit, but I still believe in mosquito repellent.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I tell you what, Maggie, IFAS is such like a hidden gem for us here in Volusia County, and I think a lot of people don't know, unless you're in the ag community, you may not even know that IFAS exists or that Volusia County is involved in it and what kind of services they offer. So where could people get more information about the beekeeping class and all the stuff that IFAS
Yeah,
offers?
they can visit the on Eventbrite. IFAS has a page on there, and they can go check it out, and they can register for all these courses. They have some chicken classes coming up too, if you want to learn about raising the chickens. And all of those are listed on there, and registration and payment is all through that form. So
yeah, and it's just right outside the Volusia County Fairgrounds in DeLand on 44. So I always recognize it because there's a big UF sign and Go Gators. So you can see it if you're driving on 44. So.
Well, Heather, we can't all be perfect. St. John's River cleanup, that's coming up too.
Yeah, this is a huge event, and it's actually our 28th annual. So it's been around longer than Maggie has been alive.
That's true.
All right, you're going to HR after this. So why is the cleanup important?
Why is it not important? I mean, we all live in Florida for a reason. I know one of my reasons is being able to enjoy the water, whether it's the beach or the St. John's River. So keeping it clean, I think, is number one for not only my enjoyment, but for the manatees. I love sea cows. Gators, obviously. Go Gators, love gators. I wonder how many times I can slip that into this.
You just put twice in
Start
like
making
this.
a tally.
Right?
There was only like one word between the last two gators.
And so the St. John's River cleanup is not just Volusia County. It's a cooperative with 8 of the counties that have the St. John's River running through them. So we are hosting Hours in Volusia on Saturday, April 20th. It's from 8 to 11 a.m. And there are 9 different locations across the county. So Maggie, you want to go into those 9 locations?
Yeah, we have Shell Harbor Park in 9 Mile Point Park in Pearson, Edstone and Lake Beresford Park in DeLand, Blue Spring State Park in Orange City, Lake Monroe Park in DeBerry, Lemon Bluff Road Ramp in Osteen, and DeLand Springs State Park. So there's lots of locations, lots of options. They also really encourage people to come on their boats or canoes or anything that they can get into the water on, because there's stuff in the water as well, not only on the shore. So if you are at a location where they do have a boat ramp, feel free to bring your boat and come boating out there with us and just help us clean up the waterways. It's a super important thing for us to do.
Yep. They also mention wear your closed-toed shoes, all your sun protection, sunglasses, hat, sunscreen, work gloves, bug repellent, and water to stay hydrated.
Yeah, it's important.
Maggie, the stats on the cleanup from past years are pretty impressive. Tell us about the volunteers they had and how much trash they picked up.
Yeah, so this is a collective cleanup that goes across 8 different counties, and it gets really big when you really start looking at the numbers. Last year, we had 1,302 volunteers, and we picked up 1,462 bags of trash. So it's a pretty significant when you think about how much trash goes in a bag.
Yeah,
when you really think about that, that's
it
a
equated
lot.
to 29,336 pounds.
Yeah,
so
that's insane.
I can't even imagine how much that is. Like,
no,
assuming
You know,
elephants.
so many of us move here or we're born here but spend all of our time at the beach, and it's easy to forget the IFA story and the St. John story are kind of one and the same for me. That there's a whole west side of Volusia County that doesn't include the beach. Heather,
The wild west
out by the Belden compound. There's a whole west side out there with the river and the agricultural community and stuff that is fun to explore. So get out and get away from the beach for a little bit. Go check out the river and help clean it up. I tell you what, before we head into Food Waste Prevention Week, story I feel personally attacked by, we're going to take a real quick break.
We are Volusia County Beach Safety. We're here to serve Volusia County's 47 miles of unique coastline. You know, Volusia County beaches. Yeah, those beaches. But also these beaches. We have millions of visitors every year, and we work around the clock to keep our beaches safe and beautiful. And you can help.
Swim near a staff lifeguard tower.
Pick up your trash and fill holes. Identify, avoid, and escape rip currents.
Please leave the beach cleaner than you found it.
There we go.
Look out for one another and keep an eye on kids, especially near the traffic lane and in the water.
Pets are allowed at our 2 pet-friendly beaches, Lighthouse Point Park and Smyrna Dunes Park.
If you see something, say something.
A clean and safe beach guarantees fun in the sun for everyone. Thank you for doing your part to keep Volusia County beaches beautiful. See you at the beach!
Make the most of your day at the beach. Download the Volusia County Beaches app today. Sign up for real-time notifications on vehicle ramp openings and closings. Find staffed lifeguard towers. Get updates on tides and beach conditions, plus off-beach parking and coastal parks info. Volusia County Beaches app is available for your smart devices at the App Store and Google Play.
Happy Friday, everyone. You're listening to Volusia Today. We are your Volusia County Community Information Team. I'm Heather, joined with Maggie and Michael.
Did you just lead in with Happy Friday coming out of that horrible, scary commercial?
Well, it was talking about keeping
years.
Volusia County beautiful. What is happier than that?
That is true. That did.
I love it.
Sorry, go ahead.
But speaking of keeping Volusia County beautiful, this week, April 1st to the 7th, is Food Waste Prevention Week. And it's actually a movement that our Volusia County Solid Waste team, shout out to Michael Naherney and their group over there, and our Volusia County Libraries partner with. And this is really just to bring awareness to reducing food waste, which helps support a healthier environment, saves families money, and addresses food insecurities in our community. So it's actually something that I like annually to remind me, like, hey, I can buy the food, I can eat the food, and that can be the end of the story. I don't need to throw out another bag of lettuce ever again. It hurts my heart every time. So I thought it would be fun to kick it off with some trivia. I love giving you guys trivia. So here's some food waste prevention trivia. So how much money does a Florida family on average throw away annually worth of food? What do you think, Michael?
$400.
$400. That seems low.
Thanks, Maggie.
That seems
You go
high.
first next time.
I feel like that's, I mean, I spend at least $200 at the grocery store every week. So now I'm throwing away 2 weeks full of groceries.
I mean, I throw away a bag of kale at least
Oh,
once a
that
week.
breaks my heart.
That's shocker. Maggie and her kale.
I'm going to say $2,000.
So it's $1,600.
That is a
That is
nice
a
job.
lot of
You're right. I
money.
was way low on my estimate.
I could do a lot of things with $1,600.
What would you do with $1,600?
Vacation, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be a weekend at the beach.
All inclusive, where you could eat as much as you want.
Yeah, and not worry about
not worry about the
wasting
food waste. All right, what's our next trivia
In
question?
the United States, about what percent of food grown and produced is never eaten? It's a percentage.
In the United States?
In the United States.
Okay, Maggie goes first this time because she tricked me.
What did you ask the question again?
In the United States, about what percent of food grown and produced is never eaten?
I feel like it's going to be higher than I think it is. Because I think about how much produce I throw away from it just sitting on the counter and then how much goes bad in a truck. I'm going to say 60.
Wow, that's
Percent?
really high.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, I'm a little more optimistic. I'm going to go 45.
40.
Wow.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
It's almost half of the food we're producing. We're not
your
eating.
Yeah, I did because I won that one. I'm still mad because you won the last one. It's on now.
So
we
yeah,
got ourselves a game.
Almost 40%.
Yeah, that's even like 60 was scary, but 40 is still a lot of food.
It's almost half.
Yeah.
It's sad to think about.
Yeah.
How many tons of food wasted goes into landfills annually?
Oh.
So this is the kale that Maggie's throwing away.
Well, kale is light.
Okay. All right.
Not heavy.
All right, Maggie, I'll go first on this one. I'm gonna say say that again. How many tons?
Tons wasted of wasted food goes into landfills annually.
I'm gonna say 60 tons.
How much
It's
is a
way
ton?
more.
I know. I don't know
I'm
how much a
trying
ton
to
is.
think of like
It's way more.
an elephant is a ton, right?
I don't know.
I don't
Look,
know.
and how do you equate tons to like muffins? Like I don't know. How does that work?
My kale bag is how much in comparison. I feel like it's more than that. I'm gonna double. I'm gonna say 120.
No, 3 million, guys.
What?
Yes.
With an M? 3 million?
Yes, we are wasting food at an alarming rate. And this is why we're talking about this. Food Waste Prevention Week.
Wow.
Jeez Louise.
So now let's kind of flip it. How long can an apple stay fresh if you put it in the fridge?
Oh, 6 months.
6 months.
Maybe that's just my fridge.
Really concerned.
I have a really good fridge.
Do not eat the apples from Michael's fridge.
6 months. I'm gonna say a month.
6 to 8 weeks. So Maggie was way closer.
Really? Wow. Okay.
But I mean, you think about it. You go to the store every single week. You're buying an apple.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't end up eating it that week, throw it in the fridge,
Yeah.
and now you've got at least another month that you can still enjoy this apple.
Wait, do you automatically put your apples in the fridge or do you?
I do, but I like a cold apple.
Do you put your apples in the fridge?
I do not.
No, neither do I. What about your bananas?
Bananas. So there's a whole thing about bananas. Let me see. They weren't on my list.
Wrap them in.
Yeah, I think you can wrap their
the tips.
Their group.
Yeah.
Where they group in either saran wrap.
Oh, you know what? My father-in-law is staying with us, and I came home last week, and he bought some bananas, and they were wrapped, and I thought he just forgot to peel the bag off, so I went in and ripped it off.
Oh.
Yeah, and he got super mad at me because he's like, now the bananas are all going to perish.
You can also, if your fruit is going bad, you can freeze it. I used to make smoothies all the time.
Yeah.
You can actually freeze your bananas and split them in half. You can do the same thing with apples. And
Banana's the perfect one. But peel it first, kind of chop it up.
I used to do that, yep.
And then freeze it. Or, I mean, always banana bread. I mean, I feel like that's everyone's go-to for when your banana starts to rot.
Yeah, or is already rotted.
My dog loves bananas, so those are kind of his special treat when they get a little too sweet for me and like a little too bruised. We'll just chop one up and throw it in his dog bowl, and he thinks I'm the best person in the world.
That makes me feel kind of sad for your dog. All right, what's your next question?
So last one, how long can a peach stay good if it's frozen in an airtight container?
Ooh, I'm going back to 6 months.
Okay.
I think it's longer than that. Stuff stays good in the freezer for a long time.
See, but frostbite scares me.
Well, yeah, if you get water.
What are you scared
but
of?
It's airtight. You're airtight, you know, like seal it up.
Oh.
Okay, what's your number?
I'm gonna say a year.
Right on the money, Maggie.
A year?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and this, like we just said, goes for a lot of the fruits, especially. There are some vegetables that you can do the frozen thing. A lot of times they tell you to like wash them, cut them up into whatever like size chunk you want, lay them out on a cookie sheet, put them in the freezer till they're frozen, and then bag them up.
Yep.
And that kind of makes it like easy for them to break apart if you wanted to portion them out. But we can go into food storage tips. There's strawberries. They like to be cold and dry. And I didn't know this, but don't wash them until you're ready to eat them. And they're one of the fruits that if there's one bad berry in the bunch, if you take that out, it will help stop the others from going bad as quickly, which is also true for apples.
And children.
Take the one bad apple
get them out of there, man.
Oh my gosh.
Otherwise, they're gonna.
But
infect the other ones.
like a bruised apple makes the other apples bruise faster.
Huh.
It has to do with like the gases that they're letting out, so it kind of starts to like take over the whole bunch.
I didn't know that.
Broccoli likes to be cold and slightly damp. They're one of the ones that you can freeze. I think you maybe like cook them a little bit. You kind of steam them and then do the freezing process. Tomatoes like to be room temperature away from other fruits and vegetables. Once they're ripe, you can place them in the fridge and that will keep them better for longer. This was a fun fact that I didn't know until I was looking into this. Onions and potatoes, they do like to be in the dark and alone, but we do not want to put them together. The potatoes stored with the onions make the potatoes sprout and rot quicker than if they were separated. And I always kind of had them right next to each other, just hanging out.
See, and it never would have occurred to me to put them together.
No.
Like, because onions like make everything smell like onions.
Well, out on the counter, I feel like.
We had this whole conversation about onions the other day. Onions absorb smell. Yeah, there was a whole debate for a while online about keeping onions in your bathroom because it absorbs smell, and so it can be like a whole thing. But in your kitchen, if you place it next to like fruit and stuff, it can absorb the smell of the fruit too.
I would totally wait, there's an onion in your bathroom, isn't there?
No, there's no onions in my
I would
bathroom.
totally freak out.
That would be really odd. But that was what the debate was online, was like, is this a weird thing to do? And some people were saying, no, it's completely normal, which is then when I learned about the smell and that it absorbs things. But I had no idea about the potatoes until Heather told me. And I keep my onions and potatoes in one basket.
Now you need an onion basket and a potato basket. So aside from storing our food properly, there are a lot of other things that we can do. Michael, save your leftovers and actually eat them for lunch the next day. Or even maybe plan a nice like leftovers dinner. So my family, we're very big on meal planning and doing a shopping list every week. And so we will plan to eat the leftovers as maybe like 2 nights after, so we don't have to eat the same thing every night.
Yeah, 2 nights in a row.
Yeah. So that's a good tip. This one I thought was interesting. I didn't think about it. Audit what you're throwing away. So if you realize that you are throwing away a bag of lettuce every week, maybe just hold off from buying lettuce for a week or two. Really look deep into your soul and say, am I eating lettuce?
I had a friend who got me a lettuce saver bag. and it's foil on the inside, and it's got a little drawstring on it. That lettuce will last forever. It's crazy how long it lasts.
There's a lot of like little contraptions like that now, or little tips and tricks. I think I saw if you keep the broccoli in its crown and you kind of cut the bottom off just a little bit, put it in a bowl of water, that's like the perfect environment for the broccoli. I think you can do the same with like celery and green onions, some of your herbs. If you like buy herbs by the bunch, it helps just keep them fresher longer.
But who's got time to do all that stuff, right? I just throw it in the refrigerator and eat it the next day.
As long as you're eating it the next day, there's no
room in the refrigerator for a bowl with broccoli in it.
Well, I guess that's true. But like green onions, like what you were saying, you can actually, if you chop them, if you use them, and you keep the bottoms, they have those little stems on them, and you put them in water, they'll grow back. And so you get like 2 for the price of 1.
You do that, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Or, Michael, share meals with your friends when you're going out to dinner. Are you a sharesies kind of guy?
See, I do try to do that, but it makes my wife really, really, really mad.
Oh, she doesn't share?
No.
Oh, I feel like women love to share because we can kind of make it like any meal can become a tapas situation where like I'm getting a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to do that, especially for like a steak restaurant or seafood, you know.
You want to try all the sides?
A little bit of red meat, a little bit of fish or seafood. Yeah, a mix. No, she won't do it. I'm the only child, right? Like you would think that
it would be you.
Yeah. But no,
guarding your plate with a fork, like
so I'm all
stabbing
about
your hands. And then composting. I mean, Maggie, do you compost?
I do compost.
I feel like you might have.
Yeah.
So taking all your scraps as you're making dinner, putting them in, your little compost bin, and then using that to make very good soil for any of the gardening or any of the plants you're trying to keep alive.
Okay. We only have 6 minutes left in the show, but I really wanted to dig into your composting. so you compost?
I do.
What do you do with it?
What do you do with it?
Yeah.
It depends on what you have. Normally, I don't compost. There's certain things that are not good for your soil depending upon what you're growing. And so I do eggshells and coffee grounds. Those are the 2 that I really focus on. Every now and again, if I have something that's good for the garden, I'll do it. But you basically put it in a container and you leave it on the counter. And whenever you have your coffee in the morning, you dump the coffee grounds in there. If you crack an egg, you just put the eggshell in there. And then at like the end of the month, however, whenever it fills up, you can blend it. So you stick it in the blender, you blend it up, and then you use it as almost like a fertilizer for your garden. And it's really good for the garden, and it's all natural, and it's really good. It works.
The frozen margaritas at Maggie's house might have a hint of coffee grounds and eggshells and little crunchy.
No. I have a specific like little one that I use for this because it kind of freaks me out. I met someone the other day who uses their coffee grinder to do it, and I was like, okay.
But at that point, you're like composting 3 ounces at a time.
Yeah,
you're changing the world out there, Maggie.
But yeah, I mean, it works, and it's a super great way to kind of save your food and use it for something that's actually useful versus just throwing it away and putting it in the landfill.
Wow, this is not the most exciting show we've ever done, but it's definitely one of the most informative.
Yeah, educational. So if you want to learn more about Food Waste Prevention Week, you can go to foodwastepreventionweek.com. It does happen annually, so I'm sure you'll hear us talking about it again. But yeah, save your food, save yourself a lot of money, obviously, and let's make sure that we're all just doing our part.
With that, let's take one more break and we'll be right back.
Subscribe to the Volusia County YouTube channel.
And hit the bell icon to know what's happening in your hometown.
There are so many great places to explore.
And things to learn.
With over 1,000 videos available right now, the channel offers something for everyone.
Let's go!
Did you know we have countless features showcasing history, nature, wildlife, and recreation? Subscribe and hit the bell icon.
Or that we live stream important county meetings and workshops where leaders make decisions that can impact our everyday lives. Did you subscribe yet?
Or that we record our weekly radio show, Volusia Today, where we interview staff from the different divisions and departments across our great county, and they discuss the nitty-gritty of their field and expertise.
Go ahead, subscribe.
But that's not it. There's more. Subscribe and hit the bell icon and fully explore.
welcome back to Volusia Today. Happy Friday, everybody. We were just talking about some exciting things going on in the county, and we have some really cool events coming up, and I know this weekend is Turtle Day. Heather, can you tell us a little bit about Turtle Day?
Yes, we're finally here. I don't know how anyone could be sick of talking about sea turtles, but this is the last reminder that the Marine Science Center is hosting Turtle Day. It is April 6th from 10 to 3. It is free. They're going to have live music, food, arts and crafts, and obviously the beloved sea turtle, where you can see them, learn all about the rehabilitation and education they're doing out at the Marine Science Center. They also have other animals. They have a lot of shorebirds. They have raptors, which are not dinosaurs, if you were confused. More like owls and hawks. But it's such a cool place to take the kids. They get to pet stingrays, sometimes feed them if you're there at the right time, hang out with some snakes if you're into that. But Turtle Day is a good time, so head on over to the Marine Science Center this Saturday.
Maggie, there's also a VORIDE expansion coming up. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's super exciting. Everyone's really excited about it. It's expanding this Monday, April 8th. To Deltona, DeBerry, and Orange City, which is really exciting. So we've already reaped the benefits of it in DeLand, and it's been a really great experience. We see them all the time downtown, riding people around, and now they're going to have the opportunity to do it all over. So we're super excited for them.
Real quick for our new listeners, we have listeners, right? Do you think anybody's listening?
Paul,
Yeah.
Clayton.
Clayton's listening.
Yeah, my future
Clayton.
mother and father-in-law listen every
shout
single
out.
day. Yeah, shout out Donna and Dwight. Hey, guys.
Tell Donna and Dwight real quick, what is VORIDE for those who don't know?
VORIDE is essentially a service where you can use an app. It's a share ride service, so you can use the app. You can get a ride anywhere. I think it's $3. Is that what it is? It's
Something
very
like
inexpensive.
That, yeah. It's cheap.
And it's all over. Right now, it's just in DeLand, but now they're expanding it to other cities as well, which is super exciting. But yeah, it's a share riding service. It's very similar to the other ones that are out there, but it's specifically for Volusia County.
Maggie, something is happening at the Ocean Center pretty soon. A big deal?
Yeah, the Harlem Globetrotters
Oh,
are
yeah, I
coming.
totally.
You
Yes.
just said my name. And
Yes,
looked
I
at
looked at Heather. I did. Go ahead.
Well, Heather, go ahead. Tell us about the Harlem
Heather, what's going
I
on
mean,
with the
everyone
Globetrotters?
knows the Harlem Globetrotters. I think it's kind of a staple of a childhood to get to go.
Oh,
and
7-year-old me
experience-
is super stoked. Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome. So they will be at the Ocean Center, which is so nice to have them just right here in our backyard. We don't have to drive and deal with the Orlando traffic, God forbid. So they'll be here April 30th. As a part of their worldwide tour. So they're visiting 400 cities in 25 countries. There'll be some opportunities for pre-show events if you wanted to kind of add on to your package. They have court passes available, tickets for groups 10 plus. So if you're at all interested in anything in, I would say, just the sports arena, this is such a cool event to go, and it's very family friendly, so go ahead and get your tickets.
Big things happening at the Ocean Center. Go check out the website and see what else is coming up. I know there's a good comedian coming up pretty soon for Father's Day, and lots of events. Also, we just launched a newsletter called News You Can Use. Go to volusia.org and sign up for it to get all of your news about Volusia County. And have a safe and wonderful weekend out there. It's going to be a beautiful weekend, I think, at the beach.
I love it.
Always swim in front of a lifeguard.
Always.
And what else?
Swim in front of a lifeguard. Those rip currents are gnarly, so.
Swim in front of a lifeguard. And be safe out there and have a great week in Volusia County.